We're live.
Almost. So.
There you go. We're live now on YouTube. And
what is it? I can see myself how much I hate that.
Of course not. Looking good.
My.
So
Ready?
Facebook. Yeah.
So we're ready everywhere.
Okay, good. All right. So you want to start by saying hi to the audience?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. This is Katja home from Coldwell Banker, and as we announced it many times last week, and all the way to the weekend, we have a very big day today, and I'm super happy to introduce you Alex Diaz from PV Rentals. Finally, we got to the point that we can talk about rentals. We keep receiving all these questions about how the market is doing, how it was before, so what's the current situation with the COVID. And I think we've got the best person here, at least someone who has been doing this forever, for how many years? 12 years.
So I've been doing this for about 12 years. Katja, thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming.
I'm very, very honored to be here. So yeah, a little bit of my background. I was born in Guadalajara, and then I moved here to Puerto Vallarta when I was 2. So I consider myself a pata salada.
Pata salada.
So, and I've seen, and I moved to the romantic zone. So I've seen the changes. I've seen the progress. I've seen how it's evolved over these past decades. I left briefly when I was 18 to go to school in the U.S. I became an engineer, and I thought I was never going to come back. Never. My life was just going to be there. And then during a market crisis in 2008, when the markets collapsed, I came back briefly for 6 months. And then I was going to go back and do my master's. And for some odd reason, I started helping a friend who wanted to buy an apartment here in the romantic zone.
This was in
2008.
Okay.
When I came back, 2008.
Okay.
This was in the middle of the crisis, and what we're seeing now it's a movie already that I've seen. So it's very interesting because it's going to bring up a lot of experience also, but with a different perspective, because I was much younger at that time. So, and that's how I got into the world of real estate and rental markets. Later on, after a year, I would say 2009, I got fully involved in vacation rentals and long-term rentals because my friends and the people, the connections that I had made, kept calling me and asking for help, and it was very intuitive to me. I had an engineer background. Sales and interaction with people was very, very intuitive. It was in my DNA, and here we are, about 12 years later.
So you never went back?
No, never went back.
This happens with many of us.
Yeah. So and then in every year, every season, we learn something new, and we've gotten very sophisticated to the point where we're able to pull data not only from the romantic zone, but from Puerto Vallarta. In just last year, we started and we launched a consulting business. So we traveled to Playa del Carmen, we traveled to Cabo, we traveled to Cancun, we traveled. I was in Brazil just 15 days ago, and we help people with their vacation rentals, namely with their Airbnbs, VRBOs, and Booking.com, which we're going to talk about later on.
Yeah. Today. I forgot to tell you guys that we're gonna talk about today about the romantic zone, because first I thought we can just start talking about it in general, and Alex told me, okay, but which area of the town or Nayarit we're gonna talk about? And I thought for investors and this is the hottest part of town.
It's the epicenter of the activity.
So we're gonna touch this topic today, and feel free to question. Be happy here to get all the answers.
Yeah. We like for you guys to post your questions. Katja is going to be asking questions as well. But at the end of the day, what we're most interested in is for you to get actionable tips, for you to go on and look for properties with the help of the local realtor like Katia, who's very knowledgeable and who not only is an expert in her field, but also reaches out to experts in other fields as well to create this network of added value that not a lot of realtors have. Not a lot of realtors go out of the way and give and go the extra mile to help you out with data, hard data, to be able to compare and to support your investments, which is very,
Thank
very
you,
important.
Alex. We're trying to provide all the information that we can and give a full picture to our clients.
Exactly.
That's for sure. And a lot of people purchase for investment purposes to buy rental properties.
That's right.
That's what we see. That's what this area is about. So tell me about your company, PV Rentals.
So
right?
yeah, so we created a company called My Puerto Vallarta Rentals, and we've been in business for more than a decade. What we do is we created a business model in which we have the vacation rental department, we have the long-term rental department, and then we have the commercial rental department as well. And we did that because we knew that properties behave differently in the market according to the seasonality, which we're going to talk about later on. Every resort destination in Mexico, namely Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cabo, and Puerto Vallarta, have the same seasonality. We have a high season and we have a low season. And you have to know and have a roadmap so you know what to do in November, you know what to do in December, you know what to do in January, February, and March, because the type of tasks are very different. And this happens with you guys as well. There's time to list inventory and there's time to sell your inventory. It's the same business idea, okay? And so we have been able to map out, and that's how we lead our clients into making the right decisions with the right data, so we know exactly what type of apartment to buy, how much revenue is going to generate as well, and so that you choose the type of apartment that's not competing with the rest of the apartment, like the graph that we're about to show in a few minutes. So we're going to show you some graphs as well to be able to determine how much you can get paid for renting your apartment on a nightly basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis as well, and what vacationers are looking for. Because the traveler, Katia, the traveler that's rising or emerging from this post-pandemic world is very, very different than we were used to.
That's what I want to ask you about. I mean, if you've been doing this for 12 years, I've only been here for 8 years, so I could see a huge bump in 2013, something like that,
exactly.
2014. But what's your experience in these 12 years? How did you see the progress here?
Yeah, so the market, so before we didn't have, and I love to talk about this because I grew up in this area in the romantic zone. I used to, run along the beach here on Los Muertos Beach with my dogs, and I've seen how every building was built, and because of the lack of hotel infrastructure. Before we did have a small number of hotels that have been around for more than 30, 45 years. But developers from out of town saw an opportunity to develop boutique condominiums, meaning they would buy a lot or a fixer-upper that was big enough for a building to come in, and then start in developing buildings with 20 units, 30 units, 40 units, and that's what we see now. They're not just regular or massive condominiums. They're boutique condominium projects in which you have a community of its own. So it's changed very dramatically. It's become it's one of the safest areas too. Safety is very, very important. I feel safer, a lot safer here in PV than in Rio de Janeiro, which I came back from, and it's very safe as well. But it's just it's like living in Hermosa Beach in California, or in a small beach destination within the U.S. It's very, very safe. So going back to the travelers and how they've changed. Before, the market was very predictable. You would know, and you would have your projects or your plan or your projections on cruise control, meaning you would know if we're in September now, you knew already what was going to happen in November and what's going to happen in December and January. So it's very predictable. But now, due to this this COVID situation, the market around the world is readjusting and realigning itself. And now, since we're being moved into the digital world, we're able to work from home. Our kids are able to go to school from work. And so there's the emergence of the so-called digital nomads, which are basically, or used to be 5 years ago, people in their 20s traveling abroad and working remotely, traveling to third world countries, Indonesia, anywhere in Southeast Asia, Latin America, where they could get a few dollars, but those dollars were enough to survive. So now you have to have everything that you would need in your apartment for your guest to be able to work remotely for an extended period of time. So before, if the average vacationer or the average traveler to Puerto Vallarta would stay for 3 nights, that number has doubled. The average traveler is now staying 6 nights.
You're talking about the COVID situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they have freedom now.
Okay.
And a lot of these people can work from home.
Yeah.
And they're fleeing metro areas. So people from LA, people from New York, people from London, they don't want to live in a metro area like that where there's heavy restrictions.
They closed in, so they rather come down and live on the
Exactly. So we're getting a lot of those people,
ocean.
and they love the romantic zone. They just love it. So it's very important to put that into context so that the investors know what type of apartment to buy, how to furnish it as well, and the location also.
Talking about furniture, and we're jumping a little bit ahead, but
Right.
this is interesting. Do you see difference in occupancy and need of if you furnish something like super cool or super extra, or you put an extra? Does it matter?
Yeah, the most important thing is having a sexy apartment. And
Okay.
what I mean by a sexy apartment is having a sexy building and sexy utilities.
With a rooftop
Amenities,
pool.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So pool, jacuzzi, gym, because that creates a community of its own, and people don't have to leave the building. They can order food in, they could go up to a jacuzzi, they can exercise without having to leave the building. So having an apartment with the right amenities makes a world of difference, and people are looking for those hot and sexy amenities all the time.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Exactly.
And inside the unit as well, right?
Yeah,
you have to create something unique.
And it has to be
able
very nicely decorated as well. You have to have a work area. You have not the dinner table, not the kitchen counter. You have to have a work area.
Okay,
So now you have to get a decent desk chair, that's ergonomic for you to be able to work long periods of time. And you also have to have great lighting, or lots of windows. Natural elements are always important to have, and I'm pretty sure you highlight that in all of your showings. You have to have the presence of natural elements in your apartment.
And plants and
Exactly.
green and
Exactly, but you have to and strong internet connection.
I think that's the main
That's
point,
an asset.
right?
It's an asset nowadays. It's no longer a luxury. It's an asset. So you have to have a strong and reliable internet connection, and you have to show off that internet connection in your listing as well. So that's some of the requirements that the new travelers are looking for in this post-pandemic world.
Okay, wow, interesting. Can we look at some numbers?
Yes.
I'm not a number person, but what you showed me at the beginning was super interesting.
Yeah.
High change. What are those places that ran most? Because I thought a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, this used to be like the place to go for, but we
Right.
see that there is an oversupply of these places.
That's right. That's why it's important
I think
to
I'm learning. That's for sure.
It's very important to identify the opportunity and where you could come in and start making more money. I mean, are you going to compete with the rest of the people, or are you going to find your own little niche? Remember, the riches are in the niches. So you have to find and carve out your own niche. All
Okay.
right? Can you unlock the computer real quick?
Oh,
just
sure.
Sorry. So we're going to show our audience in just a few seconds some very important information. So the first graph that we're showing is this.
This is crazy.
This is just a romantic zone, okay? It's just a romantic zone, and as you can see, it's bordered by the Rio Quale, and it's one of the best natural limitations or borders, not limitations, natural borders that we have. And that's why the romantic zone continues, the price of properties, the price of rent continues to go up, because we cannot build anything on the ocean. We cannot build anything, or people don't want to go past the river. And then we're bordered by mountains as well. So the real estate in this area can only go up.
Absolutely.
You know, can only go up. So this is the a task that we do, and we get this info from OTAs. OTAs are what we call online travel agencies: Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, and Expedia. And it's in property managers or sometimes even property owners put their properties on for rent in those OTAs. And it's very important to have a diversified strategy, so that you're not only relying on Airbnb, but you can also have VRBO and Booking.com. So you're working with these OTAs and getting money from all of them, not just one person. Okay. So that's part of a diversification strategy that we teach and that we implement also in our programs. The next graph that I'm going to show you is the three main key indicators, which is average daily rate. Okay, that's how much you can get on a nightly basis for your apartment. Okay, this is an average. We're going to dive into the example that our audience is waiting for, which is a one-bedroom apartment or two-bedroom apartment.
So this is everything.
This is an average. So this data takes into consideration studios, one bedrooms, and two bedrooms.
Okay.
And the average, which also helps to identify the peak of the season and the bottom of the season. These are very important because those are your upper limits and lower limits. Then you know, if you've identified your upper limit and your lower limit, you know where you have to move in between.
Okay, let me ask you something. This is the whole romantic zone.
It's a romantic
type
zone.
of units.
Studios, one bedroom and two bedrooms.
And all type of apartamentos. So we're not only talking about the new construction, beautifully made.
All of them.
Whatever, all of them.
All of them.
Okay.
Yes, all of them. So we see that in December we go up to 206, and then in August it goes down to 119.
Okay.
All right. Occupancy rate as well. In February we go all the way up to 90%, which is our high season, and then in the low season, which is now in the hottest part of the year, we reach a 17%. The average is 50% occupancy, which is really good for a resort destination. There's a difference between resort destination or a beach town like ours and an urban destination, like it could be Mexico City or Guadalajara or London. All of those are urban destinations. Okay.
Sorry, one question. So this June, what you have 17% is 2020.
Yes, it's 2020.
Okay, wow, I think that's very interesting. We're going to talk about that.
We're going to show how the market has started the recovery process, and it's going to be very interesting as well, because people still think that we're waiting for the recovery. We've already started the recovery, and we've already experienced. In fact, in the real estate industry as well, you had a lot of pending sales that are moving slowly but surely into
busy.
Exactly. Same with us. So a lot of people, there's been a rebound, and we're going to show that in a little bit.
Okay.
So and the revenue, which is the most important thing, how much money can I really make? So the average is $1,560 a month. Okay. In the high season, which is where most of your money is made, that number doubles. So it goes over 3,000. Yes, this is gross, exactly. All right, and there's another graph I want to show that's very important as well. This graph, if we can show Lisa's the graph where it shows the categories, the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedrooms, please. This graph is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, Kate, because it tells me exactly where I need to get into. You know,
this is a big surprise for me. I mean, when you first showed it to me, when you got here, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so this graph tells me that most of the competition, 46% of the inventory online, is in the 1 bedroom category. So to me as an investor, why would I want to buy another 1 bedroom apartment when I'm going to be competing with the rest of the inventory?
Absolutely.
You know, I want to get a lean, easy to liquidate property, and maybe buy not only 1 but 2 or probably
studios.
3.
Yeah.
You know, and that helps a lot because you start to diversify your money and your investment, since day number one.
I think that this is an amazing information.
You know?
Yeah.
And with that studio, you not necessarily have to sleep 2 people. You can sleep 3 people. So
absolutely, you can get a Murphy bed and figure it out.
Or a sofa bed. So you're competing, or even in some buildings, you could sleep up to 4 people. So with a studio, you could compete with a 1-bedroom apartment in terms of occupancy without having to pay 30% more for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're much leaner, agile in the market, and that turns into more money as well.
It would be super interesting to see the prices, how they differ between a studio for a night, and a 1-bedroom for a night.
Normally they differ between $30 to $50 a night.
Okay.
$30 to $50 a night, and that's even better because, and it's great that you mentioned that question, because when you're able to come down, let's say that the studio is at $140, the 1-bedroom is at $140 a night, and the studio is at $100, $140 and $100, and in the low season, because there's less demand, you have to bring down your prices.
Absolutely.
It hurts less to lower your price of your studio to 90, 85, than coming down for 140 all the way to 85, which is where the competition is.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's more important and it's smarter to do it that way. So don't go for a 1-bedroom, at least in the romantic zone. Go for a studio, okay, or multiple studios, or even a 2-bedroom apartment. In most of the condominiums here in the romantic zone, you would find 2-bedroom apartments or 2-bedroom condos in the penthouse units or in the top units. Those are great for investment because the appreciation is going to be, if you buy at the right time, and there's only a handful of them. So there's, in every building, there's only 3 penthouses or 2 penthouses.
And people are looking for them.
People are looking for them because there will be a point in which the studio category will saturate as well. Because it's less money, it's easier to rent. And the 2-bedroom category is going to be the cherry on the top. Okay, and
so you want to get something unique.
Yeah, or you could get one of each as well. Okay. You diversify. If you buy at the right time with your help, you can buy a studio in a 2-bedroom apartment in a nice pre-construction unit, or maybe in one that's finished. So you diversify your investment. Okay. So that's very important to show also and let our viewers know. Now this graph, the next graph, Elisa's please. The next graph. This graph is very important as well because we have the historic data where we can show, and you've experienced this too in the 2017, 2018, 2019, and how the market kept going up.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great years. Everybody was making money, lots of new buildings. Everybody was super busy. We didn't even have time to eat.
This is when it started, everything here, right?
Exactly.
Like one day to another, there were constructions all over the romantic zone.
Back in 2015, I think, is when the first building boutique condominium was built, and at very low prices, very affordable prices, because this land at that time wasn't as expensive. Yeah. Now it's become expensive, but it will continue to go up because of the natural borders that we have that I mentioned. That's why the romantic zone is such an attractive area to buy. But here, as you can see in 2019, in the 3rd quarter, which is August, September, and October, we saw a dip, and we compare that with other data that we have from other areas as well. And we didn't think of it much at that point because it was very similar to what other destinations were experiencing. And then we recovered, so we thought, this is good, it's going to recover. And then in the 1st quarter of 2020, the pandemic hit. And that's what we're able to see. So what's nice here is we have the historic data, we have present data as well, and then we're going to talk about the future data as well.
And the present data will be super interesting, or since March, what we've been seeing. And
when you have a market correction as well, is when you're able to buy a property. Because you have better opportunities. People are no longer pursuing the dream of having a home. They want to sell, and they sell at really good prices.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting, and honestly, we see a completely different market structure coming in and happening here in Vallarta. That people are changing and moving from bigger towns.
Exactly.
But that's another topic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this is that was the graph also. Let me see if there's anything else. I want to show you. Oh, this other graph. If you can show Elises the graph where we show historical occupancy. Historical occupancy. This graph is very, very important because we see the business cycle of Puerto Vallarta. We see the lows and the ups, meaning our low season, and this is data from 2017, starting from 2017. So we see how the low season behaves and how our high season behaves. We go to 2018 and we see the low season and we see the high season.
Okay.
That's why I mentioned that before the pandemic, the market was very predictable. We knew what was going to happen.
It was the same.
Exactly. And then and then we had the pandemic, and we weren't able to complete our high season.
But look at the February 2020 February's, right? Look at that peak.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And the market kept growing, as you can see from year to year. It was growing 2%, 3%, which was not bad. And then the pandemic hit, and obviously there was this huge market correction. But guess what? We've already started to recover.
That's huge. I mean, let's talk about this, okay? Because what I see is that we are almost on the same level than the last year, the same.
Exactly.
Time.
If you look at the month of July and August of 2020, it looks very similar to June and July of 2019. Maybe 3, 4, 5 points down.
This is amazing.
The market has recovered, not fully, but it's recovered better than other destinations.
So tell me about it. What did you see at other places, like let's say Cancun? What's going on there?
So what's happening in Cancun is you have, and that's a very, very important topic. What's happening in Cancun, Katia, is we have strong regulation by the hotel industry. Okay. They're lobbying the government into imposing restrictions, permits. So people that want to buy vacation rentals in Cancun, they have to apply for a permit, and then the government needs to come in and inspect the place, make sure that your gas tank is in the right position, make sure that you have emergency exits. The fire department comes in and they give you their authorization as well. So that's a series of restrictions that we don't see and we don't have here in Jalisco. The state of Jalisco, where Puerto Vallarta is, has been very, very flexible with the restrictions, and we love that. We love that because even during lockdown, we did not have heavy restrictions like any other place. Nayarit, people from Nayarit were coming to town to go to the beach during lockdown because their government was restricting access to the beach. So talking about that, it's very, very good to have a flexible government that is not looking to impose heavy restrictions on vacation rentals so that people can continue to buy and operate their vacation rentals. And they haven't recovered as much as we have. In fact, we were one of the first states to open our beaches nationwide, and that has helped a lot. When everybody else was shut down, we were open. And what's great about PV as well is that our roads are very well connected. So people from Guadalajara, which is a huge market and is part of the domestic market, which is the first market that's participating in the recovery process because of international flights.
Huge. Huge, and not only Guadalajara, Mexico City as well.
Exactly. So you have these roads, and our highway, the new highway, is going to be open very soon. Hopefully. That's going to connect. It's going to reduce the time it takes from coming to Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta. So not only people from Guadalajara are coming, but people that are 4 hours away, 6 hours away, 8 hours away are going to start coming by road.
Yeah.
So that has helped a lot. Cancun does not have the same type of infrastructure. Cabo San Lucas does not have the same infrastructure. The only way you can get to Cabo is by going up to Tijuana and then coming all the way down. So that's what's helped a lot our market. So our international airport has very good connections as well, and our roads have played a big part in our recovery process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So let's see.
Let me ask if we have any questions.
Questions from the audience, please.
Nothing now.
Nothing?
Please.
So we're gonna, let's see. This is the average daily rate. It's important for you to see this as well, because this is a key indicator that I showed you as well. How much can I rent my property on a nightly basis?
This is the most, yeah.
It's important because this is the stock market of the vacation rental industry.
Okay.
Okay. So every day, as you can see, price changes. It either goes up or down, and you have to be able, with tools, you have to be able to have a dynamic pricing that moves up and down your price automatically, so you remain competitive. Okay. So here you see, for instance, the average in a high season month, which was March, you could be charging $184 a night, whereas in the low season, once it's recovered, this is...
Sorry to interrupt. It's again a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom.
This is the average.
Okay.
This is the average, okay? And then the market has recovered, and we're now over $100 a night, which is very competitive. It's a very, very competitive rate, so that you could compete with the hotel industry as well. That's why when you get a studio, you compete directly with the hotel industry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
3 people, and you're not charging per person, because you could even sleep 3 or 4 people.
Yes, that is the whole idea. But
and people now, since the travelers now, they're very conscious about their budget. So you have a studio where you can sleep 3 people or 4 people. You have a kitchen that could allow you to save money.
Absolutely.
You know? So that's why the vacation rental industry has recovered and will continue to recover faster than the hotel industry.
We're not going to talk about how the hotel industry is doing at this point.
Exactly.
But we can imagine.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so now let's talk about how much an average owner could make on a monthly basis. All right. As you can see in the rental revenue, Ulysses, if you could go to rental revenue graph, please, the rental revenue per month. Here you could see how the market was very, very predictable.
2017.
You know, ups, downs, high season, low season, high season, low season, high season. And look at this now. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, so this is where it requires to have a property manager that's helping you analyze the market on a daily basis.
Yeah, and lower your prices, adjust everything.
Exactly, exactly. Not only do you have to have your property ready with the right amenities, so that it's sexy for the traveler that's looking online, but you also have to do this back end part, which you don't see. You're behind a computer and you're working on this. Okay. But as you can see here, in February, people could make, on average, they could make over $3,000 a month. This
gross.
is what gross in the romantic zone.
Okay.
Okay. Studios, 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms. All right. And in the low season, they could go down to 800, 600 a month, because there's very less people here. But as you can see here, this low season has been very different than the previous low season. Okay, you have more ups and downs. For instance, you see a rebound here that you didn't see before. Okay, and in June it went back down, and it's going up again. This is going to recover. We're now over 30% occupancy. During September 15th, which was last week, Independence Day, we reached over 40% occupancy.
This is crazy.
And it's really good.
September is the lowest season usually.
Exactly. So we're aiming, and you're going to see in a later graph, we're aiming for an 80% occupancy by December. We're not going to reach 100% occupancy like 2019 and 2018, but we're going to be at 80% occupancy, which is really good. It's really good. You know, for this type of market to recover, it gives me a lot of hope and I trust this data as well. Another graph that I want to show you, and this is going to blow your mind, Ulysses, if you could show historical market revenue, please. Historical market revenue. This graph right here shows you the amount of money or what the market in the romantic zone is worth.
Okay.
Literally in February, and as you can see, it went up. You know, you see the ups and downs as well, because money was generated in the high season, and this money was generated in the low season, and so forth. In January 2020, the romantic zone produced over $9 million worth of revenue. just the romantic zone.
This is
Okay,
crazy.
very competitive area, very good area to do business and to invest. And this is going to recover as well. And when you see the recovery after June and July, you see that obviously it's not at the June and July of 2019, but it has already started to recover, and it's looking more like the year of 2018,
Which wasn't bad at all.
which wasn't bad at all.
Okay.
Okay, so it's important to show this to our audience so that they know how the market has behaved and where it's going.
Let me just interrupt.
Sure.
Because we go further. Before we go further, I'm sure that we keep talking about gross income, and a lot of people have this question.
Yes.
What are the expenses basically that somebody has to count with? Because this sounds beautiful.
So-
but we know that you have to pay the maid, you have to pay the property manager. So
Right.
how does that work?
So an example, for instance, I just did an example in my office earlier today, and we're going to show it in a second. So an average one-bedroom apartment, just so you have an idea, which is what I would recommend to buy either a one-bedroom or a studio. The one-bedroom apartment is generating a little over $35,000 a year.
Okay.
Okay. And the property management cost with cleaning supplies, with utilities, with every single cost to operate the apartment would be a total of $5,000. So you would net close to $30,000.
This includes what?
Gas, water, electricity, property management fees, cleaning supplies. What else am I missing? Anything needed to operate your
So
business.
I can be at home, wherever I am, and leave my departamento to you, and you guys gonna manage everything: the rental, the property management,
Yes.
the maid, the check-in, check-out, the pickup from the airport, everything.
Yeah, sometimes we get involved even at a very early stage, which is taking delivery of the apartment. Because it's very important to furnish it properly. If you furnish it properly, you're not overspending, and you're not buying furniture that you will later have to take out because it doesn't work with the guest experience.
You mean in case of a pre-construction, right?
Yes, yes. So that's why in case of a pre-construction, we go in, we take delivery of the unit alongside the owner, and we advise them on what to buy and the reasons to buy them, and the quality as well, because it needs to be a certain competitive quality because you're competing with the rest of the market.
Okay.
Also, the cost to furnish a one-bedroom apartment here in the romantic zone goes from $15,000 to $18,000, and you will furnish it from top to bottom nicely.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good information.
So it's good information for you guys to have how much it will cost to furnish a place, so that it will be competitive and it will be appealing and sexy for travelers.
I'm happy you tell me this because I never know what I cannot help in that
Yeah.
finding furniture. So
No.
it's good to know that you guys do that.
No, it's very important. It's very important. And then we begin the process. Obviously, we do the accounting, we do the property management, all that stuff. We're very thankful and very grateful to be in Jalisco, which is once again very flexible with restrictions, with accounting, with everything. It's very simple to do that. You can hire any accountant in town, and it would charge you less than 1,000 pesos a month.
Okay.
For filing
I don't want to
taxes.
get into taxes
But
and
you can do
questions,
that with
but
an accountant
Okay.
later on in a different episode. Anything else?
I think we have a question.
We
We
have
have
a
a bunch of questions.
Okay, yeah, please.
Okay, so Luis asks, do you think the rental market will move to long-term rental based on the digital nomads?
That's that's a very good question. As a matter of fact, I touched on that briefly when I mentioned that the average stay of a traveler went from 3 nights to 6 nights. So it literally doubled. The average, once again, the average Puerto Vallarta romantic zone traveler would stay for 3 nights before. Now they're staying for 6 nights or more. So yes, the digital nomad has, because of the freedom that they have, has extended their stay, and it could be a month or 2 months or 3 months, because now they have that flexibility. They even bring their kids and their pets with them.
I mean, they come down and they stay here
Because,
for 2-3 months.
exactly, because the goal is to work from home at a place that's not your home but feels like home.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So that's one of the trends that we're seeing, and that's one of the trends that we have to prepare for in this post-pandemic world. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the other question was basically the same, and the last one was like specific price for one place, like in specific, I don't know if you want to talk about it or not.
A specific price for what?
Someone wants to know how much they can rent a penthouse per week that has 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and it has a phenomenal view.
Yes, of course. So normally, let me give you an example real quick, and you could also find it on our site. Let me show you. Okay. Let's see. So it's Vista Lake Rentals. I'm going to show you that in a real quick. Oh. There it is. So if you could go, Elises, to our Vista Alegre rental site and look for unit 709, please.
Where is that unit?
It's in Pavilion. It's here in the romantic zone.
It's one of the new constructions.
Yeah, it's one of the new constructions.
Sorry.
It has the sexy amenities that we discussed. It has not only one pool on the 5th level, but it has another pool on the 7th level. It has 2 jacuzzis. It has a proper gym, and that gives it fulfills the needs of the traveler. So now we're talking about this particular unit. Did you have it? Are you showing it already?
No.
Pavilion 709 in Vista Alegre Rentals. If you could show it. We're gonna wait for the audience to see it real quick.
This is a 2-bedroom, right?
This is a 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
And I want to show the way it's furnished as well, because that's
Okay.
very important also. Okay? So it's VistaAlegreRentals.com 709. This unit, Katya, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bath, I'm sorry. It has a nice balcony, it has all the nice amenities, as you can see, professionally furnished.
Pavilion doesn't have views, right? It's not
No.
a view place, but it's like 1.5 block from
Exactly.
the beach. It's a beautiful new construction.
Exactly. The reason I picked this building as an example, Katya, is because it's a very competitive building. So you're not paying, you're not beachfront, but you're 2 blocks away, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And for $40, $50 less a night, I could have a nice place and I could have a nice view from the rooftop. You know? So this 2-bedroom apartment, the rates, which is a question of our one of the audience guys in the audience. So look at how much. If you go to the rates, leases, we're gonna go down to the rates. We want to see how much we can charge per night. We have different prices, obviously, which is part of the strategy that we have.
Obviously.
We have low season prices, okay, and they go from May 1st through October 31st. That's our low season. And then we have a high season that starts in November 1st through December 22nd, right before Christmas.
This is the peak, right?
Exactly, because then the peak comes in it's called the holiday season, the week of December for the Christmas week and New Year's week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that apartment charges $500 a night,
At that time,
and
yeah.
it will get rented.
Of course it will.
It will get
Of
rented.
course it will. I mean,
Okay.
those would be interesting to see the occupancy rate
Exactly.
that week or that 2 weeks.
Oh,
of the holiday
we're going to
season.
reach over 80% for sure. 80%.
For
We're
sure.
going to get to 85%, and a lot of domestic travelers as well.
Mhm.
So you see how it goes from $145 a night in low season, $145 a night, all the way to $500 a night. I mean, that's more than 3 times.
Yeah, that's
the
what
price.
it is. And the real low season, according to my knowledge, is September and October.
Exactly.
No? I mean,
Exactly. Which is right now. That's why we have it priced a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, very competitive, very competitive at $145 a night.
Okay.
Very competitive, and it's renting.
And they asking for minimum 3 nights, right?
Minimum 3 nights.
Okay.
And it's also very important to know that 3 nights is it's a good minimum stay, so that it makes sense for you financially as well, because you're going to have a cleaning lady, because you're going to have other operational costs. So we've set it to 3 nights minimum.
Okay.
So that's how much you can make. And this apartment in the high season, Katya, it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. We can get up to $5,500 a month. $5,500 a month in the high season. November, December, January, February, March, and April. Very easily, okay? So that's the kind of example. We're gonna leave the link below so you can see it also. But yeah, it shows the different pictures, how it's furnished, and now with all the tools that we have, also we can show, you know, the unit virtually, so that people don't even have to step in to look at it.
According to my current knowledge, Pavilion is all sold out, but there is
some resells.
Yeah, there is a resale.
You can find
there's a one bedroom.
Yeah, you can find one resale,
but
you have other properties as well, or other resales and other properties. But you have several pre-construction projects.
Of course, I mean
yeah. So yeah, so you.
There is an inventory. We're just talking about Pavilion, and I wanted to mention.
It was just an example. It's to show how it would be furnished. It's to show how much you would get paid on a monthly basis in low season, high season, how much you would charge as well in per night. Do we have any further questions from? Yeah. So
how much do you guys charge for property management?
That's a good question.
Do you have a monthly fee, or how do you do that?
So normally our property management services are broken down into two categories. All right. We have the administrative part, and we have the reservation and the commission part. So for the administrative part, which involves coming up and creating the monthly owner statements, because you will receive a monthly statement. In order for us to operate your unit, we have to have, we need to sign a contract. Obviously, it's a service agreement that you will get. You will get to ask questions. It talks about our obligations, our responsibilities, our rights, and there's a flat fee. There's a flat fee that changes depending on the size of the unit. So we charge $120 per month for managing a studio. We charge $150 per month for managing a one-bedroom, and we charge $200 a month for managing a two-bedroom apartment. That's a monthly fixed fee.
Okay.
In addition to that, we generate 20% of commission on every reservation.
Okay.
Okay. It's very important to have, because we have a team in place, and it's like football. You have a defensive team that goes on the field. That's the administration team, cleaning ladies, maintenance guys, fumigators, everyone that needs to be in place to have the unit ready. And then you have that team leaves, and then the offensive team comes on the field. The reservations, the agents, the ones that are pushing online on all the OTAs. That needs to be part of the business cycle. If you don't have those two teams in place, the property management company is open to vulnerabilities. Okay, and that's the difference between our services and other people's services. You have to have two teams on the field at different times with perfect synchronization.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many people work for
we have a little over 21 staff members, between cleaning ladies, maintenance guys, pool guys, gardeners. We outsource also some services. We have reservationists, we have agents as well, we have concierge team, because the guest experience is very, very important.
That's what we live at.
To us, getting into it, to anybody, it's cheaper to retain the same client and turn them into a returning client, returning customer, than going out and getting a new one.
Of course.
So a lot of the business that we get is repeat customers, because they're satisfied with the unit, satisfied with our service, and with Puerto Vallarta, obviously.
Okay, how do you monitor the market when you set the prices? We were talking about this, that one owner has to be a little bit flexible in the low season and with with other units and looking at them. How do you manage it? How do you monitor it? How do you change it? What's your strategy?
So what we do is we do a market analysis, and we've found that no other agency does it. We're one of the first ones to do it. This is part of the business model that we've developed. Paying attention and looking at the numbers on a daily basis makes you more competitive. You're watching the market. You're watching the news also. You're keeping up with current events. Events in Puerto Vallarta, whether it's Restaurant Week, a concert, any type of convention, which is on hold now due to COVID-19, will have an increase in traffic to our area. So we have to be paying attention to that. We monitor also airport reports, so we know how many flights are coming in. So you have data, you cross-reference that data, and you come up with what we're showing to the audience. That is the result of a lot of different data coming from different places in one single sheet, which we give to the owner when they hire us as well. And we can give this data, we can sell this market analysis as well to anybody else. If they want a market analysis, if they want to know where to invest, also with the help of the realtors, because we don't do any real estate. That's a different story. That's why we have Katya here sitting beside me. But we can provide the data. So with the help of a realtor, you can choose and you can buy the right property.
Okay, what happens if an owner says that, okay, I have experience and I want to do the rental part myself, but I don't want to be in Vallarta. So can you guys just do the property management part of the job?
Yeah, normally we refuse to do that type of or enter into that type of agreement because we make money on commissions. That's where the real money is.
Okay.
Not on the flat fee. For me, having a flat fee it's a need to have an administrative team in place.
Okay, well that's honest.
But that's not gonna generate or pay our bills. What pays our bills is the commission that we make.
Okay.
All right. So normally we don't enter an agreement like that. You can find other people that do it, but I personally don't like to do it because we're a piece of an engine. That engine has different parts. Every part does a role. That role needs to be in connection with the next gear so that it makes sense and ultimately the guest experience is not affected.
Okay.
So we're responsible for the guest experience. We deliver the results and we earn your money as well.
Fair enough. You don't have the control of everything, which is, I think, in this aspect, it's very important.
Exactly.
Do we have
Questions?
anything?
There's one question if you from
Sure.
Tiffany Lester. Just to clarify the expenses, you mentioned $5,000 US annually for supplies, mates, etc. Does that $5,000 include management?
Yes.
And to use the services to help furnish the apartment, the property, is that a separate fee?
No, it's part of the property management fee. Obviously, the cost of buying the furniture is not included, but the part of the property management fee is to advise you on the type of furniture to be in the unit, whether it's a studio, a 1-bedroom, or a 2-bedroom. The colors, the decorator, all that is up to the owner. The type, the theme that they want to use, all that is up to the owner because it's their property. But we help you standardize the inventory, and we provide you with an inventory sheet as well, so that we know what to buy and make sure that nothing is missing when the guest arrives. Okay. All right. Any other question? I want to also jump in. We have a few more minutes. We have about 5 more minutes, I think. I don't want to make this too long, but Ulises, if we could go to future demand analysis, please. Future demand analysis. This is very important.
This is the expectations,
because
right?
This is where I get my crystal ball.
Okay.
And I get to predict the future. Very interesting. And not a lot of people do that or understand that. Okay. So here now, we're in September. This is future demand. And we're going to start talking about October and November and December. Okay. This data will change just like the stock market changes. And we as people change every day. And
in the current COVID situation, you never know what's going to happen.
So this changes, and unless we have another wave of COVID-19, which we hope or not, and I'm touching wood, these numbers will go up. I always like to give conservative analysis.
Okay.
So that my numbers could change and could be more optimistic in the future, but not have to go back and retract myself. You know what I'm saying? So right now, in September 24th, for September 24th, we're going to have 18% occupancy. But that's very normal. That's very, very normal for this time of the year. October, it's going to be the same. And as we move to November, this is going to be very flat, for September and October, because it's the hottest time of the year. But then as we go to November, middle of November, we start seeing people arriving, which is Canadians. All the snowbirds are going to start to arrive. People living in the U.S. in the northern states, because there's no escape in the winter. But coming to
I
PNV.
hope their restriction is going to be.
I think it will be. I think it
well.
will be. And even if they have quarantine in place, I think people are still going to come. Yeah. The travel will resume. The desire. We're nomads by nature. We're not. We can't live in one single place or one single city for a lifetime.
A lot of people are tired already of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So here we have, and we're going to see how it recovers. We have fluctuations in November, ups and downs, and I'm going to show that in a second. Go to the next graph, please, Ulysses. So for October, we see how September and October has behaved. You see it's low season. October is still low season, 17%. So for the remainder of September and October, we're going to see a 17-18% occupancy. Next graph, please. Then we go to October 31st, and we start seeing more occupancy now, 22%. We went from 17% to 22%, okay, and that's still low season. We haven't gone into high season. High season starts in November. Next graph, please. Look at that. December 31st, 43% occupancy.
I think it's realistic.
It's very realistic, and these numbers are only gonna increase, because the data that I'm able to show you now is based on reservations that are already in place.
And there are a lot of people in town.
Exactly.
I mean, we can see
a lot of people they've made reservations already, and more people will do their reservations as they get closer to their travel dates, as airline restrictions.
Because at this point, I see people hesitant.
Exactly.
Like, we don't know exactly what's going to happen in December.
Well,
These are the brave ones.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't know whether you're going to be able to enter the country.
Yeah.
You know? So those are the only things. The moment our Canadian friends are able to fly to Mexico, our U.S. friends, U.S. has been able to travel to Mexico all along, but the moment the restrictions are lifted, this is going to go up. And I anticipate reaching an 80% occupancy by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think it's realistic.
Yeah.
That's what we see as well.
So yeah, right. But there's a change of mind. There's a change of perspective. There's a change of habits on the traveler side, and we have to take that into account in order to buy the right property, furnish the right property, and be able to provide the right guest experience to them, so that we can start a virtuous cycle and continue to have repeating guests.
Okay. One more question, because
yes.
I think it's interesting. So I keep hearing that, and I have my point of view, but I would like to know what you think. Some buyers who go for investment properties are a little bit worried that maybe it's going to be an oversupply here in the area.
Not if you choose the right property. There's always a niche market. There's always a niche market, and I mentioned that to you at the beginning. The riches are in the niches. So you just need the help from a professional finding the right property with the help of a professional from the rental department, so you can have a winning team and make the right decision and be able. The market, investors know this, the market is like surfing a wave. You have to get in at the right time and get out at the right time. All right.
Absolutely.
And that's the art that we have perfected, and we're good to do it. And what better way to do it than having the right data in front of you? You know?
Cool. Alex, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
There? No? Alex, thank you. I learned a lot.
My pleasure.
I'm sure you guys did as well, or I hope you did. If you have any questions, please, we're going to leave Alex's contact information to reach out to him.
Yeah, you can reach me at, so my email address is info at Vista Alegre Rentals, that's VISTA LEGRE rentals with an S.com, or info at mypuertovallartarentals.com. And my phone number is, if you're calling from the States or Canada, it's +1 323 345 4632. That's 323 345 4632. Once again, Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Alex. Please let us know if you have any questions. You can always reach out to me. Thank you very much, guys, to be here with us today. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Ciao.